Okay, so guys, welcome to our fifth session of the MIT App Inventor. And I think for today, we will take it kind of easy. So, I can see that Will is not feeling very well, and it's not just Will. I myself, I'm a little bit all, you know, my head is just turning for a while now. So let's just take it slow for this session, guys, okay? And yeah, so Daniel, the floor is yours. Feel free to share your screen. Please go ahead.
Okay, so share. Oh wait, no, wrong app. Sorry, this is not the right one. Here it is. Okay, so here I have Microsoft Word 2,
Okay.
and you can adjust the size by editing this text box, and you can save the button with this button, and it'll save it to a Cloud DB1.
Okay. How about we try
And
it?
okay, I'll try to show you this. I guess I'll use this geometry.
Actually, so let me use my phone as well.
Okay.
Just give me a second. I think. MIT, right? MIT App Inventor. Oops.
Oh, sorry.
No,
Sorry.
that's fine. That's fine. By the way, we can't all. So
Okay, so
that's the thing. I can't. So only one person at a time. So this is what we're gonna do.
Okay, I guess I'll stop sharing my screen and
No,
then
no. So
turn my
this is
camera on. Maybe.
no. So this is what we'll do. Share your screen, and I will be the one that will use it, and I will share my screen on the. I will connect. I will join in from another Zoom account.
Okay.
You get what I mean, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I will join from another Zoom account and share my screen while using your app. So just give me a second. All right. Okay, so this is what we're gonna do. I'm gonna use the MIT just right now to just scan your app. Yeah, it's scanned. Okay, so you can unshare your screen now. Excellent. And I will just share my screen now. Okay, so this is what we have for your app, right? So what do I do? Guide me.
Okay, so you can click on the size text box, and you can change that, but it will only update once you enter the actual typing text box. So you can set it to 20, and then you can click on the actual text box, and then it'll update.
Okay.
See?
So let's see. Okay, So is this 20?
That is font size 20. And
Okay, so
then you can change the size and then click on the text box again and it'll update.
all right. So let's try. Oh, I see what you mean. Okay, I see. Okay. That's kind of cool. Wow, that's kind of cool. It's very interesting. So let's see. So what happens if I finish typing or click save?
So the save button saves it to like the cloud DB1, and for some reason on Androids, at least for my phone, it's very hard to like exit text box, at least for me. So I put the finished typing there, and that unfocuses the text box just for convenience.
All right. Maybe you have not. Okay, I see what you mean. All right, that's cool, Daniel. It's great. I'm really happy to be able to see. I mean, at first you were like, you had that long face. Oh, I'm gonna be leaving scratch and etc. And seeing you really getting involved in this, it really pleases me. Okay, that's cool. Okay, so let me share my screen here. And how about I let you share your screen? So I'm gonna unshare my screen and you can share your screen and show me the code now. Let's go through your code.
Okay, let's go to the blocks. So see, these are all the blocks. There's only 5.
Okay.
So, sorry. So there's this the save button. So when you click that, it saves it. It calls the cloud DB1 and it clears it of all the other of the text that you had before,
Okay.
and then it adds it to and
Okay.
use the tag text.
Okay.
And when the screen is initialized, which is when it starts, it calls the DB1 and it creates a tag called text.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the size variable, and it's set to 12 originally.
Okay.
And the size picker, I think that's the text box
Yeah, I get you.
for this font size. And when it loses when it loses focus, it sets the size to the size what you have in the text box.
Mm-hmm.
And the finish button, that just hides your keyboards, hides the keyboard or the text or the text uh, or the text ding
Okay.
buttons on your phone. And what is that?
Got
Oh,
focus. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
this is text box. What is it? Oh, this is just the actual text, and
I see what you mean. So
when it's got focus, then it sets the font size to the global size.
so how about you do this? Instead of getting the focus only when the person's clicks the text box 1, how about those actions are set when the person basically finish choosing a font size? So basically instead of text 1, exactly. Okay, so size picker, that's the name of that text box, right? Yeah, that'll be much interesting within the app. So once the person puts 20, automatically it just comes to 20. Okay, so that's nice. Yeah. So okay, Will says he's still working on his 30 minutes more. That's fine, Will. That's fine, Will. Okay, so this is what we're gonna do for today's class.
Wait, how would I link
Yes, Will? Go
could
ahead.
I link a like, so when I press a button, could I link it to a new screen? Like, so when I click that button, the new screen appears?
I see. So look towards the palette. You will see, I mean, in the code block, you will see, click on the yellow. You will see it's rating, and look through the blocks of code. You will see rating, open new screen, and you select a new screen.
Cool, thank you.
You're welcome. All right, guys, so I'm just going to share my screen here. And for today's class, I actually sat today, and I think it's time that we learn some few fundamentals of programming. Okay? I think yeah, I think it's high time. So this is what I'm gonna do for you guys. I'm gonna all right, let me just make this smaller. All right. Actually, I don't need a project for that. I'm just gonna click on a new project and name it terminology. I'll name it terminologies. Terminology. Yeah, that's fine. All right, guys. So I'm gonna go to the block of code here. Okay, so don't worry, we are not really building something. I just want to clarify to make sure that we all understand what we mean by some few terminology, starting with the first one. Now, when I click this block of code here, the control, right? It brings up this here. Okay, so what do we call this? Daniel, I think so you will do most of the question answering here since Will is not very much active. So Daniel, tell me, what do we call these? What are these?
The control block.
Yeah. In coding, what would we call these? This if statement here that you have, the loop here, and you know, all those things here, get start value, close screen.
Not events.
Yeah, that was the right term.
Oh, it was event.
Event what?
Was it events?
Event what? Yeah, but I said the full term and you said the full sentence. Finish it. Event handler.
Event blocks.
Event handlers. So could you tell me why are they called event handlers?
Well, they handle events.
Yeah, give me an example.
So if you had a block that said if your favorite number equals 5,
So
then
I'm gonna
your
help
favorite
you.
number is 5, but
Okay.
it would only say your favorite number is 5 if your favorite number was 5.
Okay.
So it would handle the event.
Okay, excellent. So this is what I'm doing currently. I just put a button. So you do realize that when I click this button, you have methods of this button. Okay, you have these event handlers of the button. So you can click, you can get the focus of a button. You can have a long click. The long click of the button is what happens when the person does something like that. So for example, this is what the long click is. So when I click the long click, I'm just gonna delete this. The long click is something like when the person clicks for a long time, for like 2 seconds without releasing the button. So we can just put in so let's do something just just something spontaneous, something like that. When the person clicks the button one for a long click, you know, on about 2 or 3 seconds, I think automatically it takes you to screen 1. Okay, so that's a long click. So you do realize that whenever you click a component, okay, when you click an object, okay, it gives you event handlers of that object. Okay, so as I was saying, the event handlers, basically allows you to trigger an action when a particular event happens. So as you were saying, get the focus, long click, lost focus, touchdown, touch up, and so on. Now, how about these green things? Will, what do we call them? These green things, what do you think they are?
Actions?
No, action is not the right word.
Um,
How? Daniel, would you like to give it a try?
Events,
No, look, it says it here.
setters and getters.
Setters and getters, excellent. So these are setters and getters. Okay, these green blocks, they're usually setters and getters. I don't know any better term to, I mean, unless you guys have one, because this is used to set something up. I mean, this is used to get something, right? The background color, etc. And this is used to set a particular value. Okay, so you can basically get a particular value, or you can set a particular value to a component. Okay, so that's it. So for this button, you do realize that that's the we have the event handlers and we have getters and setters. Now, based on the component that you have, it seems like you have access to different methods of that component. Okay, so what I mean by is if I click on unfortunately, let me click the Firebase here, which is a database. Okay, so the component here, the first thing you do realize that even before we go to the code blocks, you do realize that it has some few properties here, just as the button. Okay, so I think we've already discussed about the properties of the button, which I don't think I need to repeat it again. So let's go back to the block of code. All right, so let me click the Firebase component, and you do realize that things changes up a little bit here with the Firebase, okay? It's a database, by the way. So we still have these orange, the event handlers, but we have more than that. We also have what we call procedures, okay? So these are the procedures here of these database that we can call upon, and we also have setters and getters. Now, I think we've already used procedures before, because you guys do remember with the Cloud DB as well as the Tiny DB, right? We did use procedures because we did use the call Cloud DB to append value to clear a tag or get a value. Okay, so who can tell me what's a procedure? What do you think is a procedure? Yeah. Anyone want to give it? Anyone wants to give it a try?
A block that a block that does something.
Well,
That's the full answer.
yep, it's a good try. To make it simple, or should I say simply put, a procedure basically performs a task. Okay, so let's say this. So let's say, let me give you a quick example. Let's click procedures here, right? So let's say you do have a long, let's say we have a set of code, okay? Or should I say we would like to build a particular task to button one, okay? So this is what I can do. If I wanted, I could have done this, for example. I'm actually gonna just remove these, delete them. Okay, so this is what I could have done. I could have done this. I'm gonna click the button one. I'm gonna click button.click here. Okay. When I do now, I want to make it more interesting. So this is what's gonna happen. I'm gonna go first towards the logic. Actually, let me look for something interesting. Okay, let's look for, let's set something like this. Background color. So I'm gonna set the background color of the button. I'm gonna go to colors and I'm gonna select a set of colors. Okay, in the list. I'm gonna take that and put that there. And I'm gonna go here to the Firebase as well. I'm gonna call this here. I'm gonna try to append. Now I'm just doing something random actually currently, okay? So I just wanna show you something by the end of it. So you guys will kind of get the meaning on your own. Okay, that's good. So this is what I have here for button one. So imagine that you have in a single click, in a single event handler, this is as much task. The first task you are having is changing button one dot background color to a set of colors that you've chosen. And the second task that you are having is basically you're calling upon the database to append a value, which is this, okay, to this tag here in your database. So we have two tasks here which are being undertaken when a single button is clicked. Okay, what is ideal in the programming world would be to distinguish these two tasks, okay? So to do that, we always try to optimize our code and refine it in one single place. We don't want the code to be everywhere and nowhere. So what I could have done is I would have clicked on the procedure here and just pulled a procedure, a single procedure here. Is that okay? So when I pull this single procedure here, I'm going to give it a name. I will call it changing. By the way, you can't leave a space. I think I did tell you that before. Never leave a space. When you try to give it a name and you leave a space, it's going to add automatically an underscore. Okay. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to give it a name, this procedure, and I'm going to pull this here and leave this here. Now we have a single procedure that performs this task here. I'm going to use again a second procedure. I'm going to name it saving to database, to DB. And I'm going to take this here and put it here. Now I'm going to go to procedures and just pull this here. I'm going to duplicate it and I'm going to name it save DB. Now, who can explain to me what I have just done? Daniel, Will, could you tell me what I have just done?
You replace the button scripts
Okay.
blocks with functions.
Okay.
That
I wouldn't say functions, okay? So a function produces an information, okay, and the procedure performs a task. Okay, so use the procedure terminology rather than the function. Okay, go ahead. I'm listening. Yes, Daniel.
Okay. So you replace the blocks in the when the button clicked
Okay,
with procedures.
okay.
And it made the code look neater.
Excellent. But how neat? Could you be more detailed? How neat do you think the code is? Or maybe try telling me what is the number one advantage you do see in choosing this option?
If you wanted to use those functions again later in the code, you could do that very easily.
Excellent. So it's one way of looking at it. So imagine if you had to embed in one single code block, okay, in one event handler, you'd have to use a bunch of different tasks that all call upon different code blocks and so on. You just end up having something very huge, and the next time you come to debug it or work on it, just seeing one single code block with at least maybe 150 blocks again, that's just a lot. All you have to do is just create different procedures to basically handle the task. Don't worry about the term procedure. As I said, a procedure performs one single task. Is that okay?
I have one question.
Please go ahead.
How do you access the information that's saved in the database?
Which database? The Firebase?
So if you saved data to a DB,
Okay,
stand for database,
okay.
how would you access that data?
Okay, excellent question. So we have different storage here. Okay, we have CloudDB, we have File, and we have TinyDB and TinyWebDB. So the application you developed, Daniel, for the text editor. So instead of using CloudDB, you could have used TinyDB. Okay, so TinyDB would have stored that information on the phone rather than the cloud. The cloud and the TinyWebDB stores those information on the cloud somewhere, which is managed automatically by the MIT App Inventor. Now, I do know that you can access the information of the TinyWebDB. Is that okay? So the TinyWebDB basically acts like an API. So when I say an API, it's gonna be something like this. So let's say, for example, google.com, then it's gonna be something like this, TinyWebDB, and it's gonna be followed maybe by something. I'm gonna put just an X here. Then it's gonna have a user. Is that okay? So that's what you call an API. It's basically a resource locator. Is that okay? So what's gonna happen is when you're using, I know that when you're using TinyWebDB, so when you look up the documentation, just click here. You can click more information here and you can read all about it, okay? So the TinyWebDB actually acts like an API, like what I've just shown you here, okay? It's going to give you something like a link where you can access all that information. Now, with the TinyDB here, as I said, it is automatically stored on your phone. So it's not like it has a user interface where you could actually zoom or loop through that information, the same as the file and the same as a CloudDB. Now, if you wanted something much more advanced, okay, then you would use the FireDB, which is Firebase. This is what you have here. So this is used, it's basically a NoSQL database developed by Google. So this provides you with a user interface to actually view those data in real time. So when I go to my Firebase here real time, This is one application I developed and tried. You can see all the information that is stored in your application. And these are the tags, by the way. You were asking about the tags last time. So these are the tags. These are all the tags I'm storing with each information. Additional detail, that's the tag, and that's the value passed in the text box. District, hospital name, patient name, required date, and so on. Now, this is something for a much more advanced class, which I will teach you. Yeah.
If I were to save something in CloudDB, would I do the call CloudDB get value or the called CloudDB save value? Like it says call, bless you. It says call CloudDB dot get value tag if not there, or call
yeah.
CloudDB2.
So you would use the if you are storing value, use the store value. If you are getting the value, use the get value.
All right, cool. Thank you.
Okay. So that's the Firebase. I plan to teach you the Firebase hopefully in the last part of our class, in our last session. So that's for the I hope that answers your question in general. Daniel, is that okay? If you have any other question, let me know. Okay, so we talked about event handlers, we talked about procedures, we talked about getters and setters. Let's talk about variables now. This is not mysterious to all of us. We've all used variables coming from scratch. We've used variables for scores and for many other things, right? To keep track of our scores, even, I don't know, filters, and so on. Just so many examples out there. Now, who can tell me what's a variable? What's a variable?
A number that you can change.
A number, you said number.
Or any piece of, or any text, I guess.
I would rather say that a variable is a resource. It's a resource which you can access throughout your application. Okay, I don't want to be too specific and too detailed on the definition at this point. So
I have a small question. If I'm storing value, how do I put the value to all data? Like I want all the data to be stored after save is clicked. How would I?
could you say that again?
So like if it's if it's store value and you're how much value, like how much data would you store? Like I wanted to store like all of the data from like what's happening in the application.
Mm-hmm.
But how would what code block would I use to store all the data?
Okay, so there's nothing like store all the data automatically. So you would have to store each of these data individually. That's how it works.
All right, but would it just be like store data in text box 1?
Yeah, so something like that. So if you have 20 text box, you have to save all those 20 text box individually. That's how it is. You have to call
I know,
upon
but how do I
each
get
of
the
them.
code block for is it just like a text box? Like how would I save I just have one text box.
So when you do the call, when you call upon, so let's say I'm clicking the Firebase. Is that okay? So when I'm clicking the Firebase, so let's say I go to get value. Actually, the get value, you are calling upon the information. So let's say I use a store value. Is that okay?
Yeah.
And let's say I have in the user interface, I'm having a text box here. Now, what you need to do is, so value to store, this is what I will do. And for the tag,
Oh.
in which the information is gonna be saved. I'm gonna give it maybe if this name store, if the text box stores full name, I'm gonna type in full name. Is that okay?
All right. Cool. Thank you.
Okay. Will, the next time you will have to wait till we finish. I finish landing before you ask your question. Is that okay? Okay, Daniel. Where were we?
I understand it.
Yeah, variable. So basically, I was saying a variable is a resource which you can access throughout your application. Now, how does variable work? In order for a variable to work, you would actually have to initialize a variable, okay? So the way we do that, you can either initialize by the way a global variable which will be accessible throughout your application. So that's why we so if you are looking for a resource to be called throughout any of your event handler, your procedures, any code or block, so you will need to initialize a variable. So let's say I make this full name. Is that okay? I'm just gonna delete it. I give it the full name here, and the full name I'm gonna name it Daniel. Is that okay? Now, if I wanted, I could just do here variable, and I can use the get, and I'm calling global full name. Now, what do you think here? So here, sorry about that. So Daniel, what do you think the tag here is gonna be in the database? Don't forget that I'm using a variable here. The variable is full name here. But what is the actual value which is going to be stored as a tag in my database here?
Daniel?
It's Daniel. That's why I said a variable, it's a resource. It's not the full name which is going to be the full name gains. The full name is storing the value Daniel. That's why we say variables are just resources. So basically, take it like the variable is it's a bucket. Is that okay? Take it like the variable is a bucket, and in that bucket, you can put whatever you want. Okay, so if you put a fish, you get a fish. If you put a lump of meat, you get that lump of meat back. If you put a shoes, you get a shoes. So if I put your name in the bucket, Daniel, full name, I put Daniel in the full name bucket, I'm gonna get Daniel. So all I've done here, instead of always having to use a text box, do you get what I'm saying? Having to use a text box and maybe making it full name. Imagine if you had to use the same tag multiple places throughout your block of code. Are you going to be always using text box, and the next time you want to change a tag, you're going to have to come back again and say, okay, I don't want the full name. Maybe I should have put in F name. That makes better sense. You can't be doing that in a block of code or maybe in a large program. It's not realistic. Do we agree? So one thing you would like to do is create a variable here. So when I create the variable full name, I gave it Daniel. So the next time I'm thinking that I shouldn't have put Daniel, maybe I want to change it to Habib automatically, or Will. When I put Will, what happens automatically is anywhere in the program where I'm calling upon this variable full name, it changes to Will automatically. Is that understood?
Yes.
Okay. Do you have a question, Daniel? Will? Daniel, any questions?
What would the AI companion be called on the Apple App Store?
It's just MIT. Just type MIT App Inventor and you will get it.
All right, cool, thank you. I did finish, if you want to see it.
Okay, sure. It's already almost time. So I'm gonna unshare my screen here. And you can feel free to share your screen. Thank you.
All right, so me and Daniel actually did something very similar. So he did the Microsoft Word, I did the Apple Notes thing. So it's called Notes too. You know how like there's an app on your phone like Apple Notes do.
Okay.
So basically, like if you click Notepad 1, it would take you to here, which is say like you're now in Notepad 1. You'd be able to type here, and if you wanted to save that text, you would click save, and if you wanted to delete all the text, you would click delete. Although I haven't really worked out delete yet, I've only worked out save.
Okay.
But like so, like if you were to click like Notepad 2, like it would bring you to Notepad 2. If you were to click on like Notepad 3, it would bring you to Notepad 3. Well, do you want to try it out?
Why not?
I don't really know if it works. So.
I would like to try it out, please.
Connect, right? Yeah.
Yeah, AI companion, and I can share my screen. Good. Let's wait. Now, I need you to unshare your screen, and I'll share mine here. All right, so let's see what we have here. So this is what we have here. You may have only 3 notepads open at one time. Okay, so I'm clicking notepad 1. Okay, so I'm gonna type something. Hi, number 1. And I'm gonna save. Actually, I'm gonna copy this first. I'm gonna copy it and I'm gonna try to delete all the text. Okay, so nothing is happening. Okay, that's fine. So how about
it doesn't work yet? I haven't set up the code for that.
That's fine. Yet. So we've saved it here. So what I want you to do is go back on the screen and take me back from the application, from the MIT App Inventor, the IDE. Take me back to the screen 1, to the menu.
Oh yeah, I do have to do a button for that, right?
Don't worry about it for now. Just go back on the application and just change screen. Take me back from the screen to the menu. Excellent. So by the way, that is another trick. If you're using the application and you want to maneuver it, okay, you can use the screens on the MIT App Inventor website. So as you change your screen automatically on the app, it also changes.
Oh, okay.
Now you do have your seller data, I guess.
Oh yeah, I'm working on how to use that. Like
that's fine.
If like it would draw from the cloud if you're not using like cellular data, like if it would.
Okay, so if I click notepad 1, everything is, so the information though I've saved is not called back. Okay, so that's fine. Let's go back to the screen again. I'm gonna go to notepad 2. So I'm gonna click here. Hi, I'm number 2. I'm gonna save it. So I've clicked the save. Okay.
All the code is copied from the other ones. So I think, like I did like call cloud DB, like I named them all cloud DB, like and their number, like cloud DB3, like get value tag, save value. If not there, create empty list.
How about you share your screen and we can look at your code together? Okay. Okay, so I can see that you have one save button for screen. Okay, screen. Okay, that's fine. So
it's for every screen.
That's fine.
It's the same code.
So Okay, so when the person clicks the save button, it does store the value tag save. So value to store is textbox1.text. Okay. And textbox1.got_focus. It shouldn't be .got_focus. So when the textbox1.focus, so when I click it back, okay, I'm coming. No, take it back.
It should be when text box 1 is clicked, right?
No, it's fine. Just give me a second. Click the AI companion. I want to try something. No, AI companion. Yeah, I want to rescan the code here and see how it goes. Because I don't think just give me a second. Right.
If you're
So
wondering if you did
I'm
click
in
the
Notepad
text box.
1. I'm gonna save it here. Okay, could you click the menu, go back to screen 1? Okay, so I'm gonna go back. So are we in screen? Yeah, I was in Notepad 1. Yeah, nothing works. It's not working. So we're in screen 2. Yeah, it's not working. So well, the thing is, if you remember the way we did our chat box, I mean, you do remember our chat box, right? Whenever we close it and we reopened it, automatically it retrieves all the information. So how about you go back and look at our code blocks and you try to build your way from there. Okay? So it's very interesting. The application I think what I'm really intrigued is the cellular data when the person is connected on the internet, that he's able to save that information on the cloud. So I think it will be interesting to have both the TinyDB being used as well as a Cloud DB. So basically, the text should be saved on the phone using TinyDB. So once the person chooses the option of cellular data, it now goes to the Cloud DB. Is that okay?
Yeah.
I think that will make more sense for me.
Wait, I think this may work. Would this work? Because if it initializes...
You have an issue. It's giving you a warning. Look at the warnings.
How do I show warnings?
Well, we are already out of time, Will. So let's see, what do we have here? Why do you think you have the warning? Excellent, good. Now try sharing your screen. Let's try one more time. Wait, just refresh companion.
How do I
connect? Go to connect. Refresh. That's fine. So let's try. So I'm in Notepad 1. So I'm gonna type what I've just so unshare your screen and let me share my screen so you can also see the fruits of your hard labor. So this is it here, right? I'm just gonna type, this is the fruit of my hard labor by Will. So I'm gonna save. Can you see that? It's saved. Okay, now take me back to screen 1.
All right. I really hope this works. If it doesn't, I'll be mad. Anyway, let's just go. 1.
That's fine. So it will have to pass 2 tests. The first one, I'm gonna click it. It has to be there. The second one, I'm gonna close the MIT on my phone and relaunch it again a second time.
Oh God! Oh God!
That means it's got to work both ways. That's what your code is supposed to do. So I'm clicking Notepad 1. Right.
What?
So Yeah. Okay, so this is what I'm gonna do now. I'm gonna close the MIT on my phone.
Ooh, can
Oops.
I
I
could
need,
just give you the code, right?
yeah, you can just give me the code. Give me the code.
All right, it's BERBUC.
I'm coming. So B.
BERBUC. All right, that's it.
Let's try. What's wrong with this code? Right, give me a second. BERBUC.
Wait, hang on. The code might be different. It disconnected.
Give me the code.
GTJ.
GTJ.
AIU.
AIU. Say that again.
GTJ.
Yeah.
AIU. There we go. That's working.
Is it working?
Well, it's loading. It says 15 and 20.
Okay, that's fine. Then it's working.
Oh, it's very slow. My Wi-Fi is slow.
That's fine. Will, are you there with us? This is just the last test, okay? Will, just bear with us for a while.
All right. Wait, no, I'm Will.
Oh, I mean Daniel. Sorry, Daniel. Just bear with us, okay? It's not loading.
Wait, Daniel, in the meantime, could you tell me what I'm doing wrong and why the Cloud DB won't show up?
Okay, so listen, this is what we're gonna do. Instead of trying to, I'm gonna unshare my screen one last time, and you will have to. I'm gonna stop sharing. So let me see your screen. Share your screen and just let me scan the code. I think that's just faster.
Yeah. But seriously, Daniel, what am I doing wrong?
So go to connect.
Yeah, are you trying to recall the information
Do a
afterwards?
reset.
Yes,
Yeah,
I am.
Oh,
reset.
I couldn't get it to work either. In fact, I just redid most of my project to work with the TinyDB one just now.
Okay.
So
Connect.
yeah,
Yeah. Right.
might have to do that.
This is.
We'll do a reset connection now. AI
There we go.
companion.
Are you in?
Yeah, I mean, it's not showing anything. Let me show you. So I suggest that you take a bit of time and you try to rework on the code, okay?
All right.
It's not showing me anything, so yeah. Okay, guys. So Daniel, do you have any more questions?
Nope.
Okay. So for next week, Will and Daniel, I need you to show me something much more extended. So I need something, I need an extended version of the app. Okay. I think from where we have come from to where we are trying to go, you know, the goals we are trying to achieve, we need something, we need something much more challenging, instead of, you know, saving information and retrieving information and doing so and so. So I need you guys to make something really interesting for me. Is that okay? So build something more challenging. For example, I'm gonna just unshare my screen here and share to you my screen here for what I have. I'm gonna go to my project here. So share something interesting, like I'm not saying you should go as, I mean, if you can do it, that's fine. I'm fine with it. So this is just the same app I've been working on, developed, you know, and I'm gonna do this AI companion, and give me a second. There's so much to do on this app. Did you know that you can even download extensions and use them? I know we haven't done that yet. I'm yet to show you how to do all that, but I'm just gonna unshare my screen here and show you something. So this is the app here. Look at what happens when I go to the screen. Can you see that? I even have a menu. I made a menu. You can make a menu of your app and just so much more. So what I'm trying to say is I need you guys to do something much more interesting, much more challenging. Okay, so you have to think about it. Okay, I'm just the backup. I'm just there to support you and just help you out. Okay. So thank you very much, guys. Take care and peace out.
Bye.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.